Hi guys, welcome to the first video of a series I'll call Mythic Plus Boss Survival Guide. This series will be focused on retribution patterns and how to use our cooldowns to survive all boss encounters in high Mythic Plus difficulty keys. The first key we will do is a Black Rook Hold plus 20, so sit back and enjoy. Well, let's talk about the first boss, guys. Okay, this is the Amalgam of Souls. This is a pretty easy fight. The only defensive you need is your Divine Shield for the big explosion. So, the boss has three basic abilities. That's Reap Soul. It does a frontal cleave. Don't get hit by it because it deals a ton of damage. After that, he does Soul Echoes on a random target. That makes them get a debuff that leaves swirls on the ground. And they explode after some time and deal damage and fear the target. So, the best strategy with this is just to leave a swirl and move and stay out of the detonation circle, and do this in a small place. Like, don't spread them out over other people. After that, the next ability he does is Swirling Scythe. This targets a random, normally ranged player. It leaves a scythe on the ground that knocks back people that get hit by it. Okay, after 50% health, the boss will start channeling Cold Souls and Soul Burst. So, the best thing to do here is to kill all the ads to prevent the Soul Burst for gaining stacks and dealing more damage. This can kill everyone on the group, even if they have defenses up, even if only one ad goes through. Another strategy is to just root or CC one of the ads coming and leave it like that, so the boss takes more time channeling his ability. Other than that, kill all the other ads. So when he starts casting his Soul Burst, pump your bubble and you should be fine. After that, he will continue repeating his basic abilities till he is dead. Okay guys, let's move on to the next boss. This is Ilisana Ravencrest. She is the hardest boss here in this dungeon on the high difficulty keys. Normally I call her the Puck Killer because they come here and start wiping. Well, her abilities are not really complicated, and also we don't need any special defensive to survive this. Although our bubbles and shields can help survive the basic ability she has. So the most important one is the Dark Rush. She chooses 3 targets at random and dashes through them, leaving a patch of green fire. The best solution to this is just make a line on one side of the room and move as fast as you can out of the rush when she tags you, so you don't take the fire taking damage. After that, she throws a Brutal Glaive to a ranged target that can bounce, so don't be near any of the ranged players. Also, you can help out your healers if you can bless enough protection at a target of this Brutal Glaive. After that, she goes to her air phase and will start throwing lasers to a random ranged target that leaves fire on the ground. She will also cast summon 2 ads, a range caster ad and a melee ad. The melee ad does a frontal cone that stuns people, so don't be in front of it, and the caster ad does an arcane blast to a random target. This hits very hard on high mythic keys, so it's better to kill the caster off. After she comes back to the ground, she will start doing her normal abilities again, and just repeat this till she's dead. And that's Ilusana Ravencrest, guys. Well, guys, let's move on to the next boss, Smashed by the Hateful. So, the defenses we will need on this fight are all of them. This is a pretty hard-hitting fight, so we will use our Divine Shield, Prolonged Power Pot, Blessing of Protection, Eye for an Eye, Shield of Vengeance, and in some cases even the Pirdas Legendary to minimize the damage that it deals to us. Okay, so first of all, I like to talk about this fight like it's a small dance, because he does his hateful charge, and after that he will always do earth shaking stomp. This stomp deals a ton of damage to everyone on the group, so it's really nice to mitigate it with a defensive, so we make our healer's life easier. Okay, so I recommend for the first Earth-Shaking Stomp, you use Eye for an Eye, since the cooldown is lower than Shield of Vengeance. After that, the next one, use Shield of Vengeance. After that, try to soak one of the charges with your Blessing of Protection. This will also protect you from the next Earth-Shaking Stomp. Then you can use your Divine Shield to soak another charge, and this will also protect you from the following stomp. So, other thing to mention is bats will periodically mark players and throw fell vomit on a line on that direction. You should move out of the group and try to leave these at the edges so you don't damage the movement of the group. Other than that, this is a pretty simple fight. You should also tell your group to use heroism to make it easier and faster. And that's Smash Fight the Hateful. Okay guys, let's move on to the last boss of the instance, Cortalos Ravencrest and Atosius the Dreadlord. So, there is a critical defensive we need on this fight. This is Divine Shield, otherwise we won't survive the first Shadow Bolt when the Dreadlord comes. So, other useful cooldowns that we have are Prolonged Power Pots, Blessing of Protection, Eye for an Eye, Shield of Vengeance, and in some cases Pirdas. I will explain when to use these cooldowns over the fight. So, first of all, if you don't have your Divine Shield on this fight, you should tell your group that you will need an external defensive. You should also consider using Pirdas and your Shield of Vengeance to survive the first Shadow Bolt. Other than that, the first the fight starts like this. Kurthalos will be the first boss we fight. He has two abilities. He will throw a glaive to a target player. This glaive will bounce back and forth. So if you get targeted, move a bit back, see where the glaive is going and dodge it. Because this very high difficulties can one-shot you, and it will also knock you back. So after this, Latosius will cast a big AoE purple damage zone. You should always dodge this because it probably will one-shot you, or pop your divine shield that you will need later. Okay, so the next part of the fight is the Dreadlord. The Dreadlord will spawn when Kurthalos reaches 20% health. He will cast a Shadow Bolt that deals an immense amount of damage and is a sure one-shot if you don't use your Divine Shield or have a ton of defensives on you. So this is a really fast cast. You should always be paying attention to his cast bar and use your Divine Shield accordingly. After that, the Dreadlord has some abilities. He will cast AoE patches of green stuff underground that if someone touches them, they are asleep and they can't move. After that, he also has his Stinging Swarm. This is a dot that is a debuff that is put on a player. It deals physical damage, so it can be removed with a Blessing of Protection, and you can mitigate the damage with your eye for an eye. Also, this Stinging Swarm can be DPS down, so it should be priority 1 when it spawns. After that, after some time, the Dreadlord will despawn and will start casting big purple AoE zones all around the area of the fight. You should always try to dodge this. Preemptively cast your Divine Steed so you can move away from these zones if they spawn on top of you. After that, he will come back and you should DPS him down. This phase will repeat with his basic abilities till the boss is dead. Some things to notice on this fight is if you ever need more defensives, you should always consider using the Pirdas. Also, if your group has heroism available for this fight, don't use it after he comes back the second time, so you get the benefits of a full heroism. Well guys, that's Rook Hold and how to survive it using all our defensives on a Retribution Paladin perspective. Thanks for watching. If this video was useful to you, like and subscribe.